The story begins with a wedding night no one will ever forget. A young bride sits alone in a candlelit room, her dress still wet from the rain, her hands shaking as she realizes she's married a man she barely knows. But when she finds a locked drawer filled with photos of other brides, each one terrified, she understands this marriage isn't built on love, it's a trap. And before the night ends, everyone will know why she cried. The sound of rain against the window was soft, almost too soft for the storm brewing inside the small candlelit room. A lace wedding dress hung on the wall, still damp from the drizzle outside. It should have been a symbol of joy. But tonight, it looked more like a ghost, pale, fragile, and haunting. She sat on the edge of the bed, her hands trembling. The diamond ring on her finger caught the flicker of candlelight, reminding her of what had just happened and what she had agreed to. This wasn't the wedding she dreamed of. It was a deal, a quiet transaction wrapped in flowers, smiles, and lies. Everyone at the ceremony had clapped. They'd said it looked like love. But love doesn't come with conditions, and it never comes with fear. When the door creaked open behind her, her breath caught. Heavy footsteps entered the room. The man she had just married, calm, collected, unreadable, stood in the doorway. His voice was low, deliberate. "You should rest. Tomorrow, everything changes. Everything changes." The words echoed in her head like a warning. He wasn't cruel, not in the obvious way. He didn't raise his voice or his hand. But there was something behind his calmness. Something that made her skin crawl. Something that whispered, "You don't belong here." Hours passed. The rain outside faded, replaced by an eerie silence. She couldn't sleep. Her heart wouldn't let her. That's when she noticed it. The locked drawer in the corner of the room. Curiosity can be dangerous, but fear can make anyone bold. She crept across the floor, her bare feet silent against the wood. The drawer handle was cold, locked, but the key was right there, on the dresser, almost as if it was meant to be found. She hesitated only for a second. Inside were photographs, dozens of them. Different women, different weddings, same man. Her breath hitched. The air turned heavy. In every photo, the brides looked the same, scared, smiling for the camera, but terrified underneath. And each photo was labeled: date, location, name. But one photo stood out. The bride's face was scratched out with a knife. And behind the photo, something else. A letter. The handwriting was hurried, desperate. "If you're reading this, you're not the first. You won't be the last. He doesn't marry for love. He marries for control. Run, before it's too late." Her hands shook as she dropped the letter. The sound of footsteps came from the hallway. Slow. Getting closer. She turned off the candle, plunging the room into darkness. Her heartbeat was deafening. The doorknob turned. "I told you to rest," he said, his tone even. But now there was something else in it. Suspicion. "I couldn't sleep," she whispered. He stepped closer. The scent of rain and cologne filled the air. His eyes searched hers, then the room. For a moment, the tension felt unbearable. Then, he smiled. Coldly, "You'll learn to sleep soon," and he walked away. She didn't wait. The moment his footsteps faded, she packed what little she had, her phone, a small bag, and the letter. But when she reached for the door, it didn't budge. Locked. From the outside. Panic clawed at her throat. She ran to the window. Old glass, too narrow. But there was another way. The balcony. She pushed it open and stepped out into the cold night. The rain had stopped, but the wind howled through the hills. From up there, the mansion looked isolated, surrounded by dark forest. She climbed down, barefoot, her dress catching on the railing. One wrong step, and she'd fall. But she didn't care. She landed hard, scraping her knees, but she kept running. Into the woods. Away from him. Away from that house of secrets. The next morning, the news spread like wildfire. A missing bride. A frantic husband. A tragic misunderstanding. NTHE man claimed she ran away because she was unstable. Nervous, he told the reporters. Emotional. No one questioned him. His wealth and charm made sure of that. But behind the polished smile he was worried. Because when the police searched the house, the drawer was empty, the photos were gone, and so was the letter. Days later, miles away, a small-town motel owner noticed a woman checking in. Worn-out clothes, a borrowed jacket, and eyes that had seen too much. She paid in cash. No name. No ID. NTHAT night. She sat by the window, watching the highway lights blur by. Her phone buzzed. A new message from an unknown number. You did well. I told you the plan would work. He's under investigation now. Phase 2 begins soon. She smiled faintly. This wasn't an escape. It was a setup. A sting operation. One she had agreed to months ago, when they told her who he really was. A man with a pattern. A predator hiding behind wealth and charm. She had cried on her wedding night, yes. But not out of fear, out of relief that it was almost over. 2 weeks later, authorities raided the mansion. They found hidden rooms, old wedding dresses, and evidence of women who had never been seen again. The man was arrested, his perfect image shattered on live television. And somewhere far away, in a quiet cafe, she watched it all unfold on the news. The same ring still on her finger, a reminder of what she had endured and what she had ended. When the reporter said the operation was led by an anonymous informant, she smiled to herself. No one would ever know her name, and that was exactly how she wanted it. You're watching Olivia's storybook, where every story touches the heart. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the next one.